This podcast episode is presented by a generous sponsorship of Radio Free Santa Clarita by the California Institute of the Arts, one of the top art schools in the world located right here in Santa Clarita. You can find out more information about their Discover Music program, CalArts summer program for high school students. Learn more at calarts.edu/discover. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Awesome Town Sound Podcast. This is the second week of June. My name is Lee Huber. Thank you so much for listening, and thanks for subscribing. And thank you so much for listening last week to our Rewind episode. That episode is a great way to spread the word about the musicians and artists that call Santa Clarita home, and a great way to introduce this podcast to new listeners. The bigger this awesome music community gets, the better. So please tell everyone you know about the Awesome Town Sound. Our featured artist this week is Samuel Kinsella. I had the pleasure of watching Samuel perform at the Hippified Records album release party a few weeks ago. His intimate performance was like a breath of fresh air. Music designed not to call attention to itself, but to transport you to a much more calm and serene time and place. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a moment. First, there are lots of great shows this week, so let's find out what's happening around Santa Clarita. To kick off the week on Thursday, June 6th, Sean Wiggins will be at Brewery Draconum at 6:30 p.m. Some experimental music over at CalArts Wild Beast Outdoor Amphitheater. There'll be a performance of a Glockenspiel piece. Yes, I said Glockenspiel. The performance is of a show called Slow Silent Singing. That's a free show, and it'll be at 8 p.m. on the campus of CalArts. Friday, June 7th, Future Ex-Husbands will be at the Telco Brewery at 6 p.m. And a trio of tribute bands will be at the Canyon at 8 p.m. That includes Mirage, Heart Love Alive, and Taylor Made, which are Fleetwood Mac, Heart, and James Taylor cover groups. On Saturday, June 8th, Drifters Cocktails will have a barbecue and brews event with 3 bands taking the stage. At 12:30, Del Scorcho. At 3 p.m., The Couriers, which is a ska cover group. And at 5:30, Harry Orlove, who is a jazz guitarist. They'll have karaoke and a DJ later in the evening. That's at Drifters Cocktails all day long. On Saturday as well, Jason Charles Miller will be at a fundraising show at the Harley-Davidson store off of Center Point Parkway. They're raising money for autism with a motorcycle ride from Simi Valley to Santa Clarita. The ride will finish around 1:30, and that's when the rock show begins. Go check that out. It's all for a good cause. At Backyard Grub and Brews, the Mojo Filtered Blues Band will be on stage at 6:30 p.m. At Vincenzo's in Newhall, the band Lexington will be performing at 7:30 p.m. The Snareheads will be at 8th and Rail at 9 p.m. And a few more tribute bands, Bonfire and Lose Your Illusion, which are AC/DC and Guns N' Roses tributes. They'll be at the Canyon at 9 p.m. And to wrap up the week on Sunday, June 9th, Miles to Go will be at Salt Creek Grill at 4 p.m. The Santa Clarita Blues Society will have their second Sunday Blues Jam, as they do every month, at the American Legion, starting at 5 p.m. At the Canyon, John Lloyd Young, who you may know from the Jersey Boys movie and the run on Broadway of Jersey Boys, will be performing at 6 p.m. at the Canyon. And another performance as part of the Dog Star Orchestra Festival. A number of chamber orchestra pieces will be taking place at the Wild Beast on the campus of CalArts starting at 8 p.m. If you know of any shows we haven't mentioned here, feel free to drop us a line at facebook.com/theawesometownsound. Quiet is the new loud. Never has that phrase been more appropriate than when one tries to explain the art that Samuel Kinsella is putting out into the world. Samuel's music makes you lean in closer. It's quiet, peaceful, introspective, and cinematic all at once. The liner notes of his recently released EP, entitled Penniless Whispering, makes the suggestion that it's, quote, best listened to with good headphones or through speakers in front of a wood fire. I agree completely. Huddle up and get cozy as we talk to this week's Awesome Town Sound featured artist, Samuel Kinsella.
Hi, my name is Samuel Kinsella, and I've been playing and writing music for about 15 years. Throughout that time, I've picked up piano, guitar, bass, tuba, trombone, but what really spoke to me was guitar, because suddenly I had the ability to create full songs with just one instrument. In the last 15 years, I've recorded over 500 songs, so within that, my genre varies. I've ventured into ambient, electronic, soundtrack work, vaporwave, alternative rock, but as of late, I've taken the most pride in my indie folk work. I've tried capturing that peaceful woodland sound that I've listened to and loved all my life, and I think I've done that. To me, songwriting is a means of storytelling. I try not to write myself into my songs that often, but sometimes it provides a comfortable perspective to write from. With music, I've never really relied on it. I see it as something I enjoy doing and something I can pour my time into without expecting anything to come from it. I'm always touched when people enjoy what I do. If I can brighten someone's day or get them to reflect on themselves through my music, then I'm satisfied. You're about to hear a song of mine called Antelope Call. It's the first track on an album I've been working on for quite some time. It's kind of an introduction to the woodland hills and streams that make up the setting of much of the album. The album is called White Grizzly, and I hope to release it in the next couple of months. I don't believe I've shared this anywhere, so for the first time publicly, here's Antelope Call.
It all off is my own. Days getting dim, older than trees on the throne. An antelope call sounds through the mountains, my dear. Someday I'll be like them, just frightened by fear. Rush over my ears, travertine stones laid out in water so clear. I see the tree line welcoming shoreline there. Down by the dawn, the fires of the night fade away. Who you'll always betray. I see the mast, the ship's overrun with decay. The lights in the trees sheltered us all from the fog. Fog rolling in, thunder clouds over the bay.
You can hear Antelope Call on every streaming service when it comes out, along with the rest of the album. But in the meantime, you can hear Penniless Whispering, which is an EP I've released as sort of a companion piece to White Grizzly, and that's available everywhere. I hope you've enjoyed, and thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to the Awesome Town Sound Podcast. We are a production of Radio Free Santa Clarita. For more information, visit radiofreesantaclarita.org. You can keep up with all the local music events that we mention here by visiting the Awesome Town Sound Facebook page. And if you enjoyed our show, please tell your friends about it on social media. Tell your friends to subscribe, because the bigger this music community gets, the better. We live in an awesome town with awesome artists, awesome bands, and awesome fans. So keep on listening to the Awesome Town Sound Podcast.